And we are live. What's up, Steven Knight? How are you, my friend? I hope you can hear me well. Jesse, good? How are you this evening? This morning? This evening? You pick whichever you want to label it as. Hey, Jojo. How are you? How are you? Beautiful weather we're having. You guys ever seen that SpongeBob episode? That's my daughter's favorite SpongeBob. Hello. How are you, Rich? Beautiful weather we're having. Oh, it's hot. Shit. Oof. So, we had an earthquake on the East Coast. Lovely, lovely. Interesting thing, though. The well pump is fixed. Congratulations, Joe. Caden dedicated a video to you the other day. Check this out, and I'll probably say it again before the live ends tonight. But so we had a 4.8 earthquake on the other day, yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday, I don't know. All I know is I felt it. 4.8. Ironically enough, what is on 4.8? The solar eclipse. It's pretty crazy. No coincidences, my friends. Yeah. I was just reading about that, Rich, earlier today. What's up, Rockin' Steady? How are you? It's very, very, very interesting tectonic plates under New Jersey and New York. Naroshi, how are you? RH, Salvador, hello. I'm doing all right, Rockin' Steady. I'm doing all right. Shari Strong. Shahari. Shari. I got yelled at last time I said your name wrong, so I'm just going to say it how I always say it. Sherry. What's up, Janie? How are you? So anyway, does anyone find that like a little strange? It was a 4.8, and on April 8th, 4.8, we're having a solar eclipse. Yeah. It actually, they say that it's it could produce up to what California does. Delirium, how are you? Craig, how are you? Dave Thompson, what's going on? I have a video of the space laser. Holy shit, I've got to share this with you guys sometime this week. I think it happened in like Ecuador or something, but you can see the traffic, right? And the guy that videoed it, I don't know how he knew it was going to happen, but the guy who videoed it, literally, it shoots down. You see the traffic, like it's driving, and then the cars stop as this laser hits this house. And I'm like, what in the crap? The Loma, Rock and Steady. How big was that quake? I acknowledge you, Derek Crowley. I said hi to you. Don Combs, how are you? Daniel Lundy, what's going on? I'm taking over the world after the eclipse. What's up, MJ? (2012). You know, I vaguely recall a 2012 earthquake. Vaguely. What's going on, Troy? How are you? Firehorse. Michael, how are y'all? Not yet. I'm just opening the window because it's getting a little hot. You know, Rich, I'll agree with you 100%. The conspiracy theories on the eclipse is driving me absolutely insane. The one thing that I know for sure, Richard Carr, how are you? The one thing that I know for sure is that animals' behavior changes. And that's why I'm going in the woods that day. What's up, Caden? Tyler, how are you? But like, people are making these crazy, absurd videos. Hey, Floyd, about like, the government is warning us about stocking up. And it's not warning the people that are coming to our area that actually live in this area, but like they're warning the people who live here, like in the Adirondacks. Our local politicians are like, make sure you stock up on your milk and bread and this and that. All the hotels are sold out, yada yada. That's the only crazy thing that is we're going to have a whole shitload of tourists that don't know how to drive and that, just go bazonkers up here. What's up, Wildflower? How are you? Melissa Stock, how are you? And like, I see people making videos about NASA launching these 3 rockets into the eclipse. It's so they can measure like sound and stuff. It's not anything new. They've done it before. They did it like, what was it, 5 years ago when the last eclipse was, or 4 years ago, whenever. They did it back then. It's nothing new. Tech Tank 1, how are you? James Kaufman. Yeah, it's about 39 up here in upstate New York, so it's fairly nice out. It's pretty good weather for $20. It's $20. Little quickie there. Get it in quick. That's what she said. What's up, Mega? How are you? DB Mick, how are you? I did it purposely because I was wondering if anyone was going to catch that I didn't do the What's up, Kim Duck? John Gons, what's going on? Moondog Rex. What's up, Robert Sharp? How are you today? Amy. Hey, Tommy, how are you? Ugh. Puma Pete. Now we're getting the people in. What's up, Scott Lee? How's everybody's weekend been so far? Good? What's up, Andy Davis? How are you? How are you? So I got an interesting email that I want to share with you guys, but I will blow the horn during the woods, Delirium. You know I'm going to. So I'm going to share this email with you. Anyway, check this out. I just bought a book, and everyone knows how I feel about William Cooper. Like, he is probably one of my all-time favorite whistleblowers. I just found this book. It's a very rare book. It's kind of hard to get. If you can get your hands on it, I suggest getting your hands on it. It is expensive, but it's called The Ultimate Deception, and it's by Commander X. Commander X, but that is Bill Cooper. That is Milton William Cooper. Shocking disclosure. The most sensational government conspiracy of our time is finally revealed to the world by a retired military officer. I know where I got mine. There's only one left, and it's like $60. But it's going to be here in a couple days, and I cannot freaking wait. I'll probably end up sharing the whole damn book with you guys anyway. But thank you, Amy Rizzo. I love my shirt too. And I saw someone else commented that too. It's a Kodapaki. It's some hiking stuff. I like their clothing. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty comfortable. Wow, my husband just bought this a few days ago. Tommy, what book? The book that I was just talking about, or Behold the Pale Horse? What's up, Pine Knot? Oh, thank you. Thank you, RH. Bill Cooper. Yeah, the book is, there's a book called Behold the Pale Horse. That's probably the book that you're talking about. Commander X, that book is like super, super rare. I didn't even know the guy that's coming out telling everything. He's dead. He's been long dead, Bill Cooper. He was killed by the government in his front yard, pretty much. I'm not going live on the solar eclipse day because I'm going to be in the woods. So I don't have, I don't think that it'll be good reception by me going live. I'll probably end up sharing the book with you guys, Melissa, to be honest with you. What's up, Red Cardinal? Commander X, the anonymous guy. Well, Bill Cooper did that he went by that alias prior to doing Behold the Pale Horse, and he did some forewords for Brandon, who wrote the Dulce Wars book. Holy shit, Janie, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. You know I do. Solar eclipse. What's up, D-Dub? How are you? Thank you, my brother. Solar eclipse starts at like, I think 2:15 to 3:45 up here. So, I don't know where else. What's up, Maurice? How are you? I tried to join one of your lives the other day, D-Dub, and I went to donate memberships for your channel, and I couldn't for some reason. It wouldn't let me. Yes, Amy Rizzo, I'm going to where Tom Mezek disappeared the day of the eclipse. Jane, you didn't even have to do that. You really didn't even have to do that. What's up, Star Magician? How are you? Tommy, I honestly have no control over ads on the lives anymore. They took it away from us. So I apologize completely. There's nothing I can do about it. Colleen, how are you? Melissa Davis. Hippie, how are you, Hippie? What's up, Kim Flores? Gina, how are you? Monty, how are you tonight? Eunice, how are you? I know I say hippie funny, don't I, Andy Davis? I knew someone was going to comment on how I say it. I say it like an idiot. I'm like, hippie, hippie. So, Andy, did you catch the game tonight? We kicked the Cardinals' ass. Oh, Sean, you're good. Kakalina, how are you? Yeah, Star Magician, I can't let that pass me by. Honestly, I cannot let it pass me by. I have to go and spend time up there. So, Donna Oostrander, I have a New York accent. I didn't realize that. Yes, we crushed the Cardinals. I think it was like 4-1. My dad is no better than he is. He's actually worse. He's in palliative care. He's not. I actually talked to Jane on the phone the other night and had a huge cry with her. He's with us, but he's no longer with us, and I can't. I can't. I'm praying for my dad to be with God. That's the only thing I can say as of late. So, lost respect for the Dodgers after what they did to the lady that caught the home run ball. Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too, a little bit. I didn't lose respect for them because it wasn't Puma Pete. It sucks because when I was talking to Jane about it, it's just like we're the only thing, like our parents are there to take care of us as we're kids, and you want to mirror that for them when you're older, and like I always thought that, hey, I'd be able to, I don't know what I like, take care of my mom and dad when they were older, and go and check on them, and make sure this and make sure that, and and there's nothing I can do for the guy. It's fucking, it's really hard. So the North Dakota one is very, very tragic. Very tragic. Oh, shit. That reminded me because you said island. So check this out. HD Reaper, how are you? So as we were talking about Bill Cooper, I just the other day received an email. I want to share this with you guys. I can't share his name, but I want to share this with you. Okay. I heard the recent cast that highlighted Bill Cooper, late host of Hour of the Time on WWCR, and it was good that he is still remembered. WWCR had others like Tex Mars, Brother Stare, Ron Wilson, and Michael Cremo, Hidden History of the Human Race, Forbidden Archaeology. I used to cartoon for Mr. Cooper's newspaper, Veritas. I would submit and he would comment and I'd change it. He'd accept it. Mainly, though, we talked about music, i.e. 1950s R&B and rock and roll. I bought copies of his show and recorded them on some cassettes. I sent him a 1952 article called The Challenger of This Hour. So this guy was a cartoonist for Bill Cooper's newspaper back in the day. and he's sharing with me like all these other books to check out and stuff. So I respond immediately back to him because he had a very interesting experience with something that he saw. And I said, listen, I'd really like to talk to you and get you on. But then he emails me back about other taboo stuff. And then he emails me this after I talked to the guy about the Canadian dumb up in Rene, the island Rene Lucifer or whatever. I'd recently heard your podcast that took place in Canada, more civilized than we in the US, according to some of them, at the circular man-made island guarded by Dogman. It brought to mind a lecture I attended years ago by Ben Mesrich. He wrote a book entitled Mammoth. It is about the Pleistocene Park in Siberia that is scheduled to bring back this extinct creature in 2028. I emailed him links about these dogmen and genetics because he has no scientific degree. The paleo group to which I belong to did not want him talking to us about his work. At his lecture, he had 7 scientists from Europe, North America, and said this genetic gate had now been unlocked. This would allow them to encode virtually any manner of characteristics of one species to another. The tech is there. The money is there. We just need more time to perfect it. So he's got a lot of crazy information. I also heard about World War II finding of a 17-foot giant, a man I used to know, the late Joe Tyler, and I used to communicate. He was one of the foremost giant investigators, and he wrote about this. One of his books, Giants Against Evolution, tells of a man in the Orient finding a giant man, 18 to 24 feet tall, as they made ready the grounds for the landing strip. These behemoth skeletons of ancient men were found. A number of men saw them. So he's going to send me all this other information, and I'm just going to have him on so he can share all this very interesting stuff. But in World War II, prior to the Guadalcanal, when they were building the landing strips there on the island, that's where they found the giants. That's where they found those bones that he's talking about. Oh, Cat Kaiser, I'm 8 years in recovery. I know the Serenity Prayer by heart, my friend, and thank you. Thank you very much. $20 is $20. We'll do it in a few minutes. We'll do it right after I do the first encounter of the night. How about that, guys? But anyway, I thought that email was pretty cool, that this cartoonist that actually knew the late, great Bill Cooper actually listened and emailed me. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I wish Bill Cooper was still alive so I could just talk to him. You know, he's like one of my all-time greatest inspirations. All right, here we go. Friends and family. I encountered an unknown intelligent humanoid. I pulled into my driveway in Fernanda Valley or Fernanda Beach, Florida at around 9 p.m. on the evening of September 6th, 2022. It was very dark out with no cars or streetlights nearby. I stopped my car and turned it off. I then opened my door and stood up to exit the vehicle. As I stood up, I saw something difficult to describe. With the car door still open, I saw what looked like some kind of cloaked creature walking around the corner of the house from the backyard. It was hard to see. It looked like a shadow of a human-sized creature. It was totally black and moved like a person walking upright. It blocked out what was behind it. and I could really only see the distortion it caused. The distortion had wavy edges as if it was surrounded by energy. I could make out its head and shoulder, but only in vague form. The humanoid took several steps, and at that instant, I thought to myself, what is that? It stopped dead in its tracks and appeared to look right at me. At this time, I was scared to death that this creature had noticed me and was now looking at me. After a few seconds of looking at each other, the creature turned and walked back around behind the house, and I never saw it again. The entire encounter lasted 20 seconds. I thought for months it was a ghost or a demon, as my grandmother often told stories of seeing ghosts. Only recently have I began to think it was an intelligent creature with a technology that is inexplicable. After the encounter, I got back into my car and drove to my roommate's work and waited for him to get off work and come home with me. This was the most terrifying experience I ever had. This was the second unknown encounter I had. For years, I believed that encounters like these were just reported by crazy people. I now believe that we are clearly not alone and not the smartest or the most technological advanced creatures on this planet and beyond. I have seen various reports on various humanoids and unexplained beings. Thank you for letting me share. Florida is a weird place for, like, I've heard of a lot of like alien like creatures spotted in Florida. And I don't even want to talk about the Miami thing, but like prior to that incident, there has been numerous accounts of very strange experiences. There was one that I heard probably, 7 years ago now, that this guy had stepped out of his house. He had seen some lights. He stepped out of his house and he saw a craft land in the road. It was a very rural road. And what appeared to be dogmen walked out of this craft, walked around, and then got back into the craft and it left. I found it strange just because I had never heard of anything like that prior. But like I said, it was 7 years ago. Do I think it's strange now? No, because of reading different things about the Sumerians and their belief on the canine-like aliens and stuff like that. What's up, Fuji? How are you? Randy's in the house with us. $20 is $20. There we go, kids. Oh, New England Dirt Roadie, how are you? I apologize for YouTube not allowing you, but I am allowing you. Hi, Bell. Truth Quest, what's going on? California, what's going on? How are you tonight? Bye, Bell. I do have the shofar tonight with us. I do have that. We will be blowing that later. Got some very interesting encounters for the night. This one lines up to what I was just talking about. The Florida incident with the thought I was unsubscribed for a minute. I don't know why that does that to people. Jane was just talking about that the other day. And she was saying that she gets unsubscribed from other channels as well. And it is weird. I don't know why YouTube does that. What's up, Adam Condon? How are you? Yeah, I don't know why YouTube does that. It's weird. Even though they want people to be subscribed to people, it's just so strange. Oh, California. I was just talking about just a strange encounter that I heard like 7 years ago about UFO landing and like dogmen, like aliens coming out. And I didn't really I didn't buy into it at the point. But it was 7 years ago, and I hadn't read anything about like the Sumerians and the canine like alien race they believe in. Rockin' steady. Thank you so much, brother. Kakalina, I am too. I really am too. I love YouTube, but then again, Jeff, how old are the Sumerian stories? Like, I think thousands of years old, I believe, to be honest with you. I know they're older than like the Egyptians, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Ancient Sumerian texts. Yeah, 3,500 BC. So 5,000 years old. What's up, Henry? How are you? Enki, what's going on? Dogmen in trench coats. I might have heard that. I don't know about that. Maybe. Well, I think the Sumerians were well before Judaism. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think they were. What's up, Brett Alexander? Does Jesus walking on water prove he couldn't swim? Yes, that does actually prove. Holy shit. That is a great question. Does Jesus walking on water prove that he could not swim? Either that or he was afraid of water. But I don't know, maybe he just wanted his feet really clean. Yeah, I thought so, Star Magician. I always thought so. So this is really interesting. I want to share something. I'm 71 years old and I've done a lot of security guard work. I go to work about 9 o'clock at night. When I was working, there was just one stretch of road in Alabama that it's like, you're going to think I'm nuts. I've always been the kind of believer, but never really seen something solid. But I saw these 3 lights and thought it was a guy with an ultralight who lived not too far from me. He had an ultralight in the field. I said, what is this idiot doing with the ultralight at night? Because it's 9:30 at night. Ultralight, a small plane. Well, it kept coming and slowing down. It never stopped and went over me, and there were these three lights. It was about the size of an ultralight, but there was no sound, and it was about as high up as two telephone poles above me. It went right across me and just drifted out of sight. About that same spot a month before, I had to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting what I thought was a dog, but it was huge. It had a lion's mane, but the rest of it was kind of more like a dog. Kind of like the things you've seen on YouTube where a guy dresses up his dog in a lion to scare people. He was coming from the same direction as this triangular thing was, but a month or so before. He just crossed the road and went up into the fence on the other side and just disappeared. So I don't know if it's one place that something has coming out of it or just where my body chose to shut down and go totally insane. I could never tell anybody. There was nothing there but sky, a dark black sky, and these three lights. I've told a couple of people, I don't know. I told a couple of people when I got to work about what I saw, but they knew I'm crazy, and then they thought I was nuts. And the creature, whatever it was like twice the size of a Saint Bernard. And it looked at me and just went across the road, up the fence, and then it was gone. This all happened in the exact same spot on this road. I know where it was, and I don't know if it's correlated, but about the same time at night on my way to work. So, there goes my phone. Ugh. Pretty much what I was saying in Florida, but this guy saw something in Alabama. Firehorse, a subscriber painted that for me. Yeah, Brett Alexander, exactly. It is a big friggin' dog. Well, I only made that noise because I had my legs crossed. You know, that's a good idea, Firehorse. Maybe I should make posters of my logo. Because this is a painting that they did of the logo. They actually painted a lot of really neat paintings for me. I've got one downstairs in the downstairs studio of like a nightscape with dogmen running through these fields. And then they painted a couple of UFOs that are flying over Washington, D.C. Really cool. What's up, Frank Morris? How are you? Ooh, that cop was going by slow. Going by slow. Yeah, I've made a lot. Like I've always made old man noises when I bend down and stuff. That because my legs always hurt because my neuropathy in my legs and such. I'll bring them up later. I'm not gonna leave the live stream to grab them, just because I'd have to run all around my house to get them. So I'll bring them out. Thank you, Gravity Cheeseburger. I have gotten 3 comments on my shirt. Gravity, thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Yeah, I will put them. You know what I did did for you guys tonight, though. I promised last week that I would bring my ghost hunting equipment up, and I have that outside of my door right now, waiting for a little bit later to share with you guys. So a little bit later, we'll do a little ghost hunting stuff in here. Cops tuning on the air. You know, that's funny that you say that, Mr. Fuji, because I don't know if you guys can see it, but kind of like that way is a Jewish synagogue. And one night I was on the phone with Victor, and we had just got done recording an upload. I was putting it together as he and I were talking, and it wouldn't render. Like, my computer just wouldn't do anything. And so I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I just happened to look out the window, and diagonally that way is the parking lot for the Jewish synagogue. And there was a white Acura SUV parked there, and a guy was sitting in it, and he had a headset on. I don't know, it might have been a headset just attached to his phone. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that it was, and I'm not gonna say that it wasn't. But I couldn't upload the video, and I tried for like an hour and 20 minutes. Victor and I ended the call, and the car, I look out the window, the car's gone, and I'm able to upload the video. And I'm like, this is very strange. So I don't know. Can you do that with your trademark, Dogman? Daniel, I don't know. Maybe. This is just it's a hiking company called Kodapaki. They're out of Utah. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to check it out. Yeah, neuropathy sucks, asshole. You got stingered by the cop? Probably. And that was right around the same time that I got that weird couple of emails from CIA.gov that I put on the community section and such. I think they monitor everything. I really think they do. You know, especially Facebook. I mean, Elon has already said that they monitor Facebook. Trump said, hey, you know, he's not for canceling TikTok because it'll only make Facebook that much more predominant in the tech industry. And that's why I don't use Facebook. I very seldom use Facebook at all. I don't like it. That's why I always say, hey, you know, email me, please. Have you had any new subscriber interviews? I'm setting some up, Tyler. I'm setting some up. Was Victor is that vehicle? Was Victor is that vehicle? Wildflower, I don't know what you mean. Star Magician, once I've been told to shut up, but that was by Tennessee, County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department told me to stop talking about the cases down there. Monty, have a good night, my friend. Everybody's phone is a spy. Yeah, Sherry Strong, 100%. What's up, Mr. Anderson? How are you? It's really weird. Like, you start talking about something in front of your phone, and then you like go to open Google and there's what you were talking about. I just wish it would like, do that when I want to look up something very interesting, but it never does. We'll talk about lot lizards a little later on, a little bit later on. We're only 45 minutes into the live, so. Facebook Marketplace is decent. I think that's the only place like you can find like a decent older vehicle or something. Star Magician. You mean a crawler? Because the rake is a term that was actually coined by my friend Tobias Wade on about crawlers. He created pretty much all the stories about rake, the creepypasta from like it being spotted on a Spanish ship in the 1600s to the Syracuse thing. Those are all creepypastas. Crawlers is like what I call the rake, but Tobias Wade coined that phrase probably 10 years ago. I got a couple of those in here tonight. Yeah. I call them crawlers. Just because, like, I don't know. I don't like using the Syracuse thing. Okay, so there's an old creepypasta that was written after the blackout in New York in, what was it, 1999? No, 2001? 2001. New York State blackout. What year? 2003.
According to AP.
Okay, so in 2003, Tobias Wade, he didn't write it in 2003, but he wrote a creepypasta talking about the reason why the blackout happened was because a rake had mysteriously appeared in this electrical grid in upstate New York, shut the power off to attack this family. That was what I was talking about. Dean can't comment on my channel. Caden, if you can see him, I don't see Dean though. What's up, Jay Cortez? What's going on? How did you get in touch with him, Caden? Why can't Dean comment? I didn't block Dean. Who was the first werewolf in Hollywood? Who was that? That was what was his name? I forget that. What was his name? Channy? No. Werewolf in Hollywood. First werewolf of Hollywood. Who played the first werewolf of Hollywood? Yeah, Lon Chaney. That's right. Honestly, I don't know why Dean wouldn't be able to comment. I never blocked Dean at all. That's real strange. I don't block people unless they've been mean to people, and Dean's never been mean, so I don't know why. No, Boris Karloff was different. He was what was Boris Karloff? But Lon Chaney Jr. was. What's going on, Zachariah? How are you? Charlie Knight. That's what Boris Karloff was. That's right. Boris Karloff was he was in Arsenic and Old Lace. I don't know if you guys seen that old play, but that was a good play. Yeah, Caden, let Dean know I didn't block him. Dean's always been respectful here. I don't know why he wouldn't be able to comment. That's weird. Tell him to try and reboot his, or I don't know, to be quite frank. Yeah. YouTube does weird stuff. I don't know. Arsenic and Old Lace is great. I remember seeing that at the Egg in Albany. This one's good. I think you guys will like this one. Okay. It was a cold evening in January of 2023 in Navajo Summit, Arizona. I had my two nieces with me. One was 6, the other was 8. We had gone to our family cabin, waiting for my sister to return from town. The evening started about 7 p.m. We didn't have a key to the house. We waited for a couple of hours. The girls eventually fell asleep in my truck. As the night continued, the temperatures dropped. I fell asleep as well. I woke up at around 9:30 p.m. The truck was ice cold, so I started it up. As I depressed the brake pedal to start the truck, I noticed in the side mirror a face looking at me from the glow of the taillight. I hesitated to look at first, but gathered enough courage to observe it again. I saw a white face with long gray or white hair, black eyes staring at me. I freaked out. Once I started the truck, I sped off and headed towards the highway. I'm not sure what I saw was following us. It was. I continued down the highway in a panic. After a few moments, I felt as if something had jumped into the bed of the truck. I turned west to head towards the town called Ganado. I went as fast as my truck could to my parents' house. Upon reaching the turnoff, I felt it jump out of the truck and watched that same white-haired entity run along the right-of-way fence. As I pulled up to the house, I quickly carried my nieces inside. Once inside, I situated the girls for bed. Later that night, I dreamt that I had walked 2 miles to my aunt's house and no one was home. As I walked back home, I noticed that same white-haired thing paralleling me. I quickly ran home, went inside, and locked the door. As I woke the next morning, I noticed sand and dirt at the foot of my bed. I told my parents what had happened and of what I had dreamt. Since we are native Navajo, they took me to see a medicine man, and he told me that I actually sleptwalked to my aunt's house, and when I entered the house, it followed me in, which totally freaked me out. Did I encounter a skinwalker? The medicine man refused to answer my questions, but my father was still vigilant and believed that I was a target for the native witch. What did it look like? It was like it had a white face, long white grayish hair. Definitely creepy. Interesting though. Interesting. What's up, web surfer? Ugh. How's the tea going? Tea. My tea? My tea is mighty good. It could have been an old lot lizard. Yes, actually, just like John Sumner brought up. It may have been an old lot lizard. Oh, the testosterone. I got my second shot Tuesday. I've noticed being less tired, but I've noticed being like edgy. And I don't know if that's because of everything that I'm going through or not, but I don't know. Jessica, how are you tonight? Rita, how are you? Light Ray, what's going on? How are you tonight, guys? Yeah, definitely don't enter the woods. I'll say it a million times. Prayer works. Prayer does work, but go into the woods armed with prayer and a firearm. That's the best thing that's the one thing that will save your ass. Mr. Rollin, yeah, I get a testosterone shot. I was on the gel that I put on my shoulders, but now I get the old shot right in the stomach. $20. It's $20. That was a good one. The Butthole Surfers was a great band. Fucking RH in the fucking Jew horn. Stop saying Jew horn. 44 Magnum. Yes, Caden. Web Surfer, thank you very much. I appreciate the love, my brother. I don't think much is going to happen on the eclipse. I truthfully 100% believe that there's a lot of people on YouTube making these crazy assumptions for views. Like they are firing 3 rockets into the eclipse for this reason. They're hoping that this doesn't happen, but they did it the last eclipse we have. They've done it for like, what? An eclipse is every 5 years, 4 years? When was the last one? 2017? So they've done it before. I just think that the only thing that's going to happen crazy is Bigfoot may get really horny and possibly have his way with Dogman in the woods because it messes up their... No, I'm just kidding. I think, I don't think anything crazy is going to happen, to be honest with you. I think that, of course, we'll have our, there may be a meth head that eats a person that day. I don't know. But, I don't honestly see the rapture happening. And, I know that there's probably people that have made videos talking, the rapture is going to happen on 4/8. Whoa! For views, but I don't see it. I see something very interesting and scientific happening, but with scientific stuff comes the paranormal. They go hand in hand, I feel. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out, Let's just pray that a meth head does not eat a person down in Florida on 4/8. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Mr. Fuji. Yes. Great song. Gigi, how are you? Chicago Big Dog. Yeah, I honestly, I just hope that everything goes well. Yeah, I'm going to have to call Nick tomorrow and see if he's okay, actually. I don't want to bother him tonight. Jacob, I haven't done any very, very few calls to anybody until my dad is, until I'm done dealing with what's going on with my family. So I will call you. It's not going to be instantaneous. I made announcements on that, Zach. I just signed, I signed some paperwork with a publishing company. No, I know you didn't. I have not forgotten about you, I promise. Jeffy, 24 on the 24th. But Truth Quest, the eclipse is on the 8th, so your math doesn't add up on the eclipse one. But yes, Truth Quest, you reminded me of my dad. My dad is a freak with numbers. He will just like Truth Quest did. 24 4 2004 or 2024 equals 666. Like that is something my dad used to. He like loves numbers. He fucking conspiracize on everything. But what's crazy is, and I said I'd say it another time, is the earthquake we just had on the East Coast was a 4.8, and ironically enough, the eclipse is happening on 4/8. It's the fucking rapture. I got to make a video about the rapture happening. God damn it. What am I doing? I'm just kidding. Numerology is cool. I like numerology. I like my favorite little thing. I have a fetish, not a fetish, but a cartology, I guess it is. I love maps. I love old maps. So I guess that's called cartology. And I'm fascinated by maps. I don't know why. I love them. Did you feel it where? Yes, I did. I felt it right where I'm literally sitting here in the morning. I'm having my coffee, and all of a sudden, the house fucking shakes, and I'm like this. I literally look like a panicked dog, right? I walk out, and I'm like, my little fridge starts moving. I look out, Tigger's just lying on the couch like this. He's not affected. Belle's still sleeping, and I'm the only one in the house that felt it. It was, oh. Yeah, Tigger didn't care. He was just like, I don't give a shit about this. I just ate a bunch of wet food. Now I'm going back to bed. Buddy! He'll come in eventually. No, he was choking on some hair the other day. No, we've not had many earthquakes on the East Coast, to be honest with you. I was in a panic attack all by myself that morning. I was like, this sucks, dude. Yeah, East Coast earthquakes are very rare. Even though it's funny that, what's up, Jen? How are you? Even though we have a volcano in the Adirondacks, you'd think there'd be more earthquakes in the Adirondacks or just on the East Coast. We'd have more than what we do, but we really don't. It's weird. What's up, Rick? How are you? Spirit. I live near Vernal, Utah. Back in the spring of 2019, I had seen a couple of strange creatures in the span of a few weeks to a month tops. I want to share this mainly about one that confuses me the most. So, I live up in the foothills below the mountain. Just to get an idea, I don't live in a developed city. And we are, for the most part, surrounded by wilderness. I see deer just about every day. Like I said, I had seen a couple of strange creatures. At this time, I had only seen one. Since that time, I had been very observant. It was probably 8:30 p.m., maybe 15 minutes until the sun went down. I was scanning I was scanning all of the rocks, trees, and brush with my binoculars. I focused in over a fence on the I focused in over a fence of a house, and that's when I saw this thing. There is a series of trees behind this fence, which almost gives the appearance of a forest. I stared through my binoculars and saw what I can only describe as an almost black looking bear. When I first looked at it, I could only see half of its face and one side of its shoulders. I could not make out exactly what I was looking at, so I continued to stare at it through the binoculars. After staring for about a minute, I, I noticed it started to come forward. The reason I say come forward is because it didn't appear as if it was walking. Its upper body did not make any movements that a walking human or animal would make. It came forward, and at this point, I could see its entire face and large muscular shoulders on each side of its body. It was staring directly at me, and I felt it come forward so I could get a better look at it. Its chest and down I could not see because of the fence was covering that area. Although I could see the face, I could not make out exactly what I was looking at. From the eyes down, it looked so strange. I saw what was like a circular, lighter colored shape for a mouth and smaller black dot for a nose. That's about when it turned its head. When it turned its head, I realized that it resembled the head of a bear or a dog. The only difference between this thing's head and a bear or dog head is that it had a short, stubby snout. I also noticed that it had ears that looked exactly like a bear or dog's ears. If I had to guess its height, I'd say 7 feet tall. It was very wide, maybe 3 feet. Basically, almost the size of a Sasquatch. People would probably say it was a bear, but like I stated, it had the posture of a human with human like but on steroids shoulders. It stared directly at me as I was staring at it. I wasn't exactly scared because it was light out, and I knew there was no way this thing was going to hop over the fence and reveal itself to the rest of the homes. Soon after getting a good look, I went inside, feeling a little uneasy. I don't quite think it was flesh and blood because I don't see how it would get into someone's backyard, especially during the daytime. Also, when it came forward to be in front of the tree that it was hiding half of its upper body, it did not make walking movements. At least that's what I noticed. So, pretty much, if I was going to guess, I would say what Victor describes as a werewolf: short, stubby snout, body like a Sasquatch. I mean, to move, you don't have to move your shoulders, so like it could just move. Maybe it had a bad neck, so it was just like this. What's up, William Menendez? Yeah, I noticed that there are blue badges and like blue badges. That's strange. Andy Davis, you keep your short, stubby snout to yourself, please. Keep it away from me. Oh, okay. See, I don't even know that, 59. Thank you very much. uh, Ooh, I got a crawler incident for y'all. For y'all. So here's a question. Has anybody ever done snuff? Like tobacco snuff? Has anybody ever done tobacco snuff? Dude, I bought this snuff the other day. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's the weirdest shit. I did some and I was like, no, you don't put it in your mouth, web surfer guy. You sniff it. It's tobacco that it's like a fine, dusty tobacco, and you like that. I instantly started sneezing. I was like, achoo, achoo. Dude, and Tigger wanted to attack me. I was like, no. Yeah, no, Gigi, this is English snuff. It's so different than regular tobacco from it's very strange stuff. It's not like Copenhagen. Yeah, it's very fine. It's not like Copenhagen. Yes. It's like a dry, dusty powder. It is proper snuff. That's very true. Yes. You Guardian, they probably dipped Copenhagen. Copenhagen has a little wetness to it. This does not. This is just drier than a popcorn fart. Similar to that, Lake Superior. Yeah. Malachi, how are you tonight, my friend? Thank you for joining us. It is crazy. It's weird shit. It is. I did a snuff and I was like, and then it said, this snuff is perfect with a nice glass of tea, with a hot cup of tea. And all I could picture was like, this fucking English fella. Chip chip cheerio. Have me some cucumber sandwiches and some spotted dick. Chip chip cheerio. Really? I didn't know Norton did the old snuff. Jolly good old chap. I want to go to England. I want to check out England. I'm just afraid that somebody will stab me. I get stabbed by some fucking guy. I'll be walking down the road. Chip chip cheerio. Shit. Give me a cucumber sandwich and some spotted dick. And not that one. RH, I thought the English couldn't have guns. Could there be aliens at Mar-a-Lago, Florida? I bet you Don is paid for one, Probably cleaning his house. Did I see that? No worries, Red Cardinal. Yes, Malachi, I said your name. Now be good for your dad, or the Dogman will come for you. Just kidding. Beans on toast. Holy shit. Is that what they eat over there? I could never eat beans on toast. It's like that, what's that bread in a can that you're supposed to eat with baked beans? You know what I'm talking about? That fucking brown bread. Bread in a can. Ew. Have you ever eaten that shit? Yucky. Jesus, Star Magician. I thought the English were nice. They get awful mad about their football, don't they? No, not spam, 59th. It's bread in a can. It's some sort of brown bread. Yes, brown bread. Here, let's see. Bread in a can.
According to Yankee Magazine, as a ready-to-eat version of the regional bread favorite, B&M brown bread in a can is a quirky, beloved, and convenient New England tradition. Just open both sides of the can and slide the bread out.
Just open both sides of the can and slide the bread out? Is bread supposed to be in a can? What the fuck? Ew! That's like eating potted meat. Haha, potted meat. My grandma used to eat potted meat and crackers. Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, Red Cardinal. Yeah, my family is weird, and my grandma used to eat things out of cans that probably shouldn't have been consumed, like that fucking bread in a can or potted meat. Potted meat. Ugh. I'll eat spam. I'll eat spam all day, but no potted meat. Thank you very much. Scrapple? Jane, what the hell is Scrapple? I gotta look this up. Scrapple. That's scaring me. Scrapple.
According to Wikipedia, scrapple, also known by the Pennsylvania Dutch name panhas, is traditionally a mush of pork scraps and trimmings combined with cornmeal and wheat flour, often buckwheat flour, and spices.
Did you hear what it is? Google, tell me what scrapple is.
According to Wikipedia, scrapple, also known by the Pennsylvania Dutch name panhas, is traditionally a mush of pork scraps and trimmings combined with cornmeal and wheat flour, often buckwheat flour, and spices.
Ooh! You eat that shit with chicory, and you're good to go. You eat it with chicory. No, thank you. I'd rather eat rat dick. I'm just kidding, Jane. I've had haggis before. Haggis is some filthy shit. I had haggis in a can. Ew. I worked at GMAC when I was younger. And this is crazy. So you put these 19 to 25-year-old kids, we were kids essentially, in this huge building in the middle of our town and put us on the top floor, and we're all working for GMAC. It's like a bad movie show. I mean, we were doing drugs in the bathroom, fucking all kinds of stuff, collecting money. And our boss for the night shift was this Irishman, and he'd eat fucking haggis out of a can. I don't even think he heated it up. And he was an enormous man, like enormous. And he just loved his canned haggis, and it was filthy. He's like, have some of this haggis, Jeff. He loved me. And I'm like, okay, not knowing what the fuck it was. So I take a big bite of it, and I'm like, because it was filthy. Loot Fisk. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Oh, now you're not going to fucking listen to me. Cocksucker. Hey, Google. Wow. Lutefisk.
According to Wikipedia, lutefisk is dried whitefish, usually cod, but sometimes ling or burbot, cured in lye.
Cured in lye? Don't they make cement out of lye? Is lye and cement? Is lye in cement?
According to concrete construction, all Portland cement when mixed with water is alkaline. This is mainly because of the presence of small amounts of sodium and potassium oxides. Some of this is rapidly soluble and the concentration in the liquid portion of the concrete or mortar can often be, in effect, a 1 or 2% solution of lye.
So you're eating fish that's been soaked in cement. Andrea Dingbat. Hey, Google. Tell Andrea you love her. Haggis is just not good. No, it's not. It's just no. I like oxtail. Vegemite is good. I like Vegemite. Little bit of Vegemite. Brandy, I'm glad that you're having a good night. I'm having myself a good night as well. Ooh, some Rocky Mountain oysters. Just as long as they're skinned. I don't need any hair in the middle of my teeth. Yeah, definitely. No one just wakes up and says, hey, I'm going to eat me some fucking haggis tonight. No. That's like saying, can Dogman blow a load all over my face? No, thank you. I say cement, but I pronounce things differently anyway. Hash in a can once. Hash in a can is good. I can deal with hash in a can. This is funny. So, and then we'll get to an encounter. So I go to this restaurant, not a restaurant, it was a diner, right? And it had a Irish kind of name. And I went for St. Patty's Day a couple years ago. And I wanted like just a corned beef. I wanted a corned beef breakfast. So I ordered a corned beef omelet, right? And I'm like looking forward to it, corned beef hash omelet. I opened my omelet up and it was literally canned corned beef. It was canned corned beef and potato in the omelet, the cheap fuckers. I'm like, what the hell, man? Yeah, food is definitely lost. Dane, I'll agree 100%. Joe's comment just reminded me of the freaking movie I watched this morning, Shot Caller. You can fit 63 Earths in Uranus, 64 if you relax. Oh, I love corned beef. Corned beef is great. I made that for St. Patty's Day today. Or not today, a couple of weeks ago. Go raw. No, I can't eat vegetables. Vegetables scare me. The only vegetable I can eat is like cucumbers, radishes with salt, and I don't know. Is potato a vegetable? Does that constitute as a vegetable? No, potato is something else. I've eaten lot lizard before, and I had quite the upset stomach after. I had canker sores all over my mouth after eating a lot lizard one night. Potted meat with mustard. That's what my grandma used to do. Yeah. What's up, Steve from the Outdoor Channel? I've tried okra before, but I'll never try it again. No. No. I'd eat the lot lizard again before I ate okra. Fried okra. Iguana. Brian Rios eating some iguana. Woo-wee! I bet that tastes like a good clean lot lizard. Ain't nothing better than a good cleaned lot lizard. Shit. Okay. You ready for this one? My house was built in the 70s by my grandfather, with whom I still reside, along with my husband, daughter, and aunt. We are his caretakers while we save up, finish school to afford our own home. There's a sizable lot or three of land between our house and our neighbors on either side. Might be worth mentioning that growing up, my friends always said my house looked like a house you'd see in a horror film due to its setting amongst the dense trees. Some of the trees have been cut down to prepare for more houses, but fortunately for us, the builders violated multiple codes. I guess so now it's a bit overgrown, expansive field. Anyway, I'm rambling. Just an inherently descriptive person trying to paint a detailed picture. So it's autumn Sunday evening, and the sun has been down for a bit. Most of the leaves had fallen by now, but I recall it being unusually warm that night for that time of year. Everyone in my house is winding down for the night and preparing for school or work that week. I'd say around 10:30 I decided to let the dogs out one last time before turning in. I go to open the back door, which is a giant glass sliding door, wall to window, and my dogs are right at my feet behind me, ready to bust out of the door as soon as it opens up wide enough. I'm glad I didn't let them out because I guarantee if they saw what I did briefly, they would have both charged toward it and it would have been bad. I open the door, and where the edge of our yard's end and the brushy field begins, keep in mind this brush is a bit taller than I am, and I'm 5 foot exactly. A pale grayish figure is standing amidst the brush at the edge of the yard. The only reason I noticed it in the first place was because the noise my door seemed to have startled it. So it made a noise in the dry falling leaves, which then caused me to direct my attention toward that noise, which is when I saw it. Fleeting, duck down, and take off further into the field behind the house. It's difficult to describe, but due to what I saw, being familiar with coyote, feral cats, and other animals I am used to seeing around the property, it had remarkably human characteristics, given its height and how it crouched over before moving inbound like strides into the field. That's another thing I noticed, was that it didn't make a sound that a human or any animal that is native to the area, for that matter, would make. The pace wasn't quick, with multiple steps like a human, deer, or coyote. They were lengthy, boundy strides, and the sound it made hitting the ground had weight to it, like tread was not light. I guess is what I'm trying to say. It sounded big. It kind of took my breath away, and I was left startled, but due to what I saw, believing it to be a bear resembling a human, I sheepishly called out, "Hello, is someone out there?" I'm still standing in the doorway, kind of frozen in mild fear. I yell again, "Hello!" This time a bit more confident. This captures the attention of my husband and my aunt. My husband came downstairs to see what I was yelling at outside, as so did my aunt. I explained to both of them, kind of frantically, what I had just seen. My aunt was spooked, and my husband went upstairs to get a flashlight and his air rifle. I am an animal lover, and I don't like the idea of him shooting animals, even problem animals, with something that can do serious damage like a real gun. So he uses an air rifle, which can still kill small game like a raccoon. My husband and I both go outside into the backyard. Him, ready with his air rifle and light, we begin scanning the pitch black overgrown field. Maybe after 5 minutes of looking, my husband hops on top of his sedan that is parked outside to get a better view of the field for any movement through the brush. His gaze stops in one particular direction. He hops down and quietly approached me in the yard and points in the direction of where he was looking. About 20 yards into the field, in the direction closer to the back of my neighbor's property, two glowing red eyes are looking right at us through the brush, somewhat low to the ground. When he gets me to see what he's seeing, he decides to shoot in the general direction of this thing to maybe startle it a bit to see how it moves. He did this several times and it didn't flinch, probably because it's a fucking air rifle. Then he decides he would try to aim and fire directly at it. Yeah, that's smart. Shoot a crawler with an air rifle to get a reaction. And he's a damn good shot. He hits it. What I imagine to be its face, it sort of jumps up, and when it landed, it was solid sounding. All the while, it didn't break its gaze on us. No, now it wants to eat your face. After hitting the ground, it moved further back into the field without running away. It kept its eye contact on us the whole time, almost as if it was walking backward, not once averting its gaze. It eventually moved far enough back to where we both had to jump onto the car to be able to see it. It's worth mentioning that there wasn't any sort of light that would cause reflective eyes, aside from the moon, which wasn't even full. We purposely kept our lights off, and the eyes looked as though they were not reflecting light, but more of emitting it. Why? You see a 6-foot humanoid gray creature in your field, and you tell fucking Artie to get your air rifle. Artie, get your air rifle. We're going to shoot us a crawler. Fucking Artie shoots it. I think it would have been great if this thing just ran at Artie, pulled him into the fucking field, and had its way with Artie's booter hole. I know, Puma Pete. I hear ya. Do not shoot a crawler with an air rifle. God, man. I was looking at one of those Steve-O Outdoor Channel actually the other day. It would be so cool if that crawler just like ran up, pushed the lady out of the way, grabbed that dude's air rifle, flipped it around, and wrecked that guy right in the dome piece with it. That would be worth telling. Wilburn Bishop. What's up, Wilburn? Wilburn. McMoto. I'll put my email in for you. Email is under Joshua Irate and above Janie. Hey, Jeff, have you heard anything concerning the eclipse and cryptids? No, Josh, I have not. I've heard a lot of strange conspiracies that I don't think. Well, Sherry Strong, if the crawler is lonely, then it is appropriate for getting shot in the face with the air rifle. Josh, no, I haven't. I've heard of a lot of just weird conspiracies that I don't think is going to happen. I just think that, I've heard that my own theory is, back to being serious, is that animals do start to act strange during eclipses. So the reason why I'm going up to where Tom Mezek disappeared is to see if anything acts strange. It's a strange time. Maybe something strange will happen. Maybe I can catch it. Maybe a lonely crawler will catch me and bring me to the sharing stone. About 2:15 in New York, it's supposed to start. About 2:15, yeah. Yeah, so 12:15 Central Time. Yep. Any updates on the LBL? I haven't had anything on the LBL in a while, other than it being uber played out and people saying that it's the hottest spot in the world. Nope. Yes, Y2KBS. Thank you, John. I think I will get happy birthday, Andy Davis. Happy birthday, Andy Davis. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I will freak out if I hear any metallic noises again on the eclipse day. Oh, on the 8th? I will, specifically while I'm up there, Andy Davis. How's your wife doing? Is she doing better? Good. I would pay money to do a video with John Allen. I would pay him to do a video with Mr. Ballin, to be quite frank with you. Me and James already did a Halloween upload once before a couple of years ago, but that would be probably like my dream collab on YouTube would be Mr. Ballin. Yes, Wilburn, I do. Yep. Crave man. I don't know. They have breasts probably because they got to milk somehow. Yeah. Snow Dave. Every hotel in Lake George is booked, and it's been booked for a long time. Do you believe in Todd standing? Hey Jeff, do you believe in Todd standing? I don't know what that is, Cryptic Cooper. What's your thoughts on the Tyson Jake Paul Netflix fight? My thoughts are hopefully Tyson uppercuts him and lays him out. I really do. I met Mike Tyson when I was a little kid because he was from downstate, a little ways downstate from me. And I hope Mike Tyson just fucking I don't know him. So Todd, I don't know this Todd person, so I don't have an opinion on him. If he's good, that's awesome. I can't comment on other researchers because I don't pay attention to other researchers. Damn, I feel old now, Jeff. Well, Tyson was young when I met him. He was young. Ooh, I forgot I had soda. Get a subway pass, cheaper and better view of the fights. I think it'll be good. How many teats does a female dogman have, Jeff? As many teats as you want, Brian. I'm not drinking Coke tonight, guys. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. I am off the unleaded. Yes, sir. Got me some soda, Wilburn. I fucking love Wilburn's name because then I can sound like Theo Vaughn. Wilburn! Wilburn! Oh, some fucking kid's probably like, oh. Dr. Pepper is good. Sat on the old nuts. I made a glaze one year with Dr. Pepper, and it was so good. Fresca is some good stuff. Some grapefruit flavored soda. Excuse me. What's devil dogs? What is devil dogs? Are devil dogs those little wieners that are in cans? Probably, Web Surfer. I like Fresca. Aspen apple soda. No, I don't remember that. But do you guys remember Seltzer? What's up, dude? Do something. Diff. I like that name. Do something diff. That's cool. Salute to you, my friend. Seltzer was the greatest soda ever. Wilbur! Wilbur! $20 is $20! Flatwoods, Kentucky in the mix. What's going on? Zara? Soul Justice, what's up? You choke on devil dogs. I've never been a fan of RC Cola. Jolt is good. Jolt's good. Not bad at all. What's up, Ethan? How are you? Need to soak devil dog. What the fuck is devil dogs? Are those little bread-looking things that have like barely enough glaze in the middle? All right. Czar in Akara. Tab is good. I like Tab. I do like Tab. Oh, God damn it. There we go. I got him moved now. Yep. The old balls. I sat on them again. I'm waiting for that tea to start working so they'll shrink up. All right now. I was off here for 4 years. Well, kicked off and used to hear your videos back then. Who kicked you off? Do something? I didn't kick you off. Oh, that's what we'll do. We'll do the ghost stuff shortly. I'll do this experience and then we'll do the I'll bring out some ghost hunting equipment and show you. Surge, I cannot drink Surge. Okay, I'll tell you the story about the Surge. So I was 17, 18 years old. I was about 18. My cousin got married and we went to her wedding. And what's up, T? 5 rings. So go to this wedding party, and all my cousins are older than me. I'm the youngest of cousins. So they're all older than me, and they're all feeding me drinks, right? My mom's just watching it happen, and because her brother's daughter got married. So my parents are just like, there's our son getting shit-faced. And so I'm wrecked. And the next thing I know, my mom and dad leave. And I'm left with my cousins and my aunt and uncle. And we go to this bar. And I'm at this bar. I don't even know how I'm getting served, but I'm getting served and I'm shit-faced. There's this lady that's probably 30 that's hitting on me. I end up giving her my watch for some reason. I gave her my watch. I have no idea why. And so I wake up the next morning at my house, thank God. And I'm in bed and I'm like, ugh, just hurt bad. My mom wakes me up and goes, "You're going to church." And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "You're getting up to go to church. We'll go to breakfast and then we're going shopping." I go, "I can't go to church." I go, "I feel sick." She goes, "You're going to church." She goes, "Let's go." So I make it through church, right? And I'm just getting drier and drier as the morning goes. So my mom gets me a soda at the soda machine, and it's Surge. And she's like, "Here, Jeff, have some Surge." And I'm dehydrated. plus still hungover, probably still drunk, and I chug the Surge. Bad call, Jeff, because the Surge came right back up. The worst pain I ever felt in my life. And yeah, that's why I cannot drink Surge. Oh yeah, Surge is just bad. I think they probably banned it because of that night. I've only seen Flago. I've never had no Flago. I know the what's that band or the group there? ICP. They do the Flago thing at the end of their concerts. We get the old ghost hunting stuff out. Okay. What's up, pups? How are ya? All right, so the first tool I have for ghost hunting is it's a sensor. It's kind of like a sensor. You turn it, and if there's any movement in front of it, it goes off. So, so it's fashioned over one of these things. And it's got these adjustable things on it. Here's my dual sweep. My dual sweep spirit box. Dual sweep spirit box. So and the batteries are dead. Nope, they're not. Okay. Okay, and so you set it like this. So sweep rate. And then you can scan through. So that's my spirit box. I've not used this stuff in like 2 years almost since I've been to the Conjuring House. I've actually got to familiarize myself with it a little bit better. Yeah, I'll use the dowsing rods tonight too. This is, I've got an ovulus. This is the ovulus right here. I don't know, Web Surfer. I don't know. Maybe they work and maybe they don't. To be honest with you. So this is the ovulus. So you turn it on like this. And then choose, so library, you choose that. Okay, and then it does a magnetic safety thing, kind of like that, or magnetic sensitivity. It's getting a little bit of something, and it'll just shoot out like a random word. Is there anyone here? Hang on, just processing right now. Night, Tommy. Thank you for joining us. I've literally got to sit down with this equipment and get familiarized with it again because I've not used this stuff in a very long time. Okay, so here we go. See how that scanner works right there? Is there any person here with us now? Can you tell us? Just shoot out a random word. Say something. Let's do the sensitivity. Born. You were born when? When were you born?
Sunrise.
You were born in sunrise.
Lens.
Lens.
Glass.
Lens glass. Wow. Okay.
Pod.
Pod. Like AirPod. Husband. Okay. Your husband?
Form. 53 years.
53 years. 53 years. Your husband? Were you married for 53 years? Or are you 53 years old? God. Grace. Wow. England. Holy shit. We were just talking about England, guys. Michigan Dogman. Carbon.
68 years.
68 years. Can you tell us about the eclipse? Boy. Can you tell us about... You raised a boy? Do you know about the eclipse? Tina. Oh, that's my ex-wife's name.
Snow.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Are there...
Evening.
Okay, that's enough. Somebody asked what this is. This is an ovulus. It's a ghost hunting equipment. I'm just going through my ghost hunting stuff. I know. 59th. We were just talking about England and freaking Michigan. How crazy is that? Okay, so then this is another ghost hunting equipment piece. It's just a kind of another sensor. It's an envoy. You turn it on and it will speed through. So what it's supposed to do is if there are spirits or anything, it picks up sensors of like happy, sad, and stuff. It's angry. It said it's angry. I'm just going to put this away because I don't want to fuck with that because that ovulus really freaked me out just a second ago. Oh, man. So that is the envoy, the ovulus, the spirit box. This is kind of like a REM pod once again. Um, I've got the classic EMF reader. You turn it on, and if there's any kind of spirits or anything in the house, it like picks up magnetic vibrations. An electric voice recorder. Just a charger. Just a flashlight to see if when there is a spirit, if they can turn it on. This is an S-Box scanner. This is a smaller spirit box. Little smaller than the bigger one. More or less like a handheld kind of.
S-Box. Scanning. FM.
So it scans through. We used this at the Conjuring House. Actually, Isabel used the bigger one at the Conjuring House. Okay, and then I have one of these. I've actually picked up recordings on this. You guys know what this is. What's up, Ravenous Raven? So this is more or less just like I forgot the exact name for it. I apologize. And then that's it. That's it for the ghost hunting equipment. Jefferson Manchild, what's going on? How are you? Enormous parabolic microphone. Thank you, Enormous. Thank you. Thank you. At the Conjuring House, when we caught the crooked neck lady on the SLS camera, I had this, and I did hear a little bit of strange noises that night with it. And then, of course, like I have batteries and power packs in here. But I just got it in this big case here. Ugh. And then probably the easiest and the best, the dowsing rods. All right. So anybody got a question they want to ask? So, is anything bad going to happen during the eclipse? If so, cross the dowsing rods. If you don't know, open them up. Okay. Can you uncross the dowsing rods? Okay. Is there a spirit in this room with me now? If so, open the dowsing rods. Okay. What are you, a good spirit or are you an evil spirit? If you are good, cross them. If not, open it further. Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Oh, what's that, Sonia? Jeff, have you ever experienced Dogman yourself? Yes, I have. I've been researching Dogmen since 1994. Ormond C. I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I consider myself a researcher. Question: is the Antichrist real? Is he here today? I'll ask that after. Talk to Me was a really good movie. Talk to Me was a really good movie. I didn't mind that movie at all. I thought that was a pretty good, decent movie. Are dogmen in Spain? There has been experiences of dogmen in Spain. There are dogmen worldwide, Ravenous. I have a folder of a worldwide experiences. I have over 200 experiences worldwide, just worldwide, and then states. So yes, there has been. I spirit level. I don't think I'm holding them wrong. Open coloring book, yes. Railroad tracks. In the very beginning, when I started my channel a couple of years ago, I used to talk about how they use rivers, they use water systems and tracks, railroad tracks to walk and stuff. And spirit level, I don't know, maybe I am, but I'm going by how one person told me how to use them. That was actually, he's a paranormal investigator from a long time back, and he was the one that showed me how to. Oh, Braddock's Bay area. I'm not familiar. I live in New York. I live in the Adirondacks, Ravenous. I don't know where Braddock's Bay is. I've had experiences in Spain. I've actually had experiences in New York City as well. Shelter Island, I've had one. In spirit level, I'm not saying I'm wrong or you're right or you're wrong and I'm right. I don't know. I'm just going by how the person taught me how to use them. Light Ray 95. Guys, listen to Light Ray 95. It seems dogmen also mess or appear to people dealing with trauma, addiction, or just down on life. I say that all the time. I've pretty much said that for years now. And I agree 100% with you, because pretty much anybody that I've interviewed, if they're willing to share that with me, has truly proven that to me. No, I wouldn't say with the 411 cases, Mr. Rollins, because Tom Mesick wasn't depressed, he wasn't on drugs, and a lot of the 411 cases, people were just actually in decent space, to be honest with you. Okay, this is pretty interesting. I think it was the summer of 1982. My friend Mike and I used to spend hours on the hills behind my grandmother's house on 48th Street in Benwood, West Virginia. Route 2, a 4-lane highway, and the railroad tracks were right there. Even though Mike and I were just kids, both at around 11, we disobeyed our parents and carefully crossed the 4-lane highway. On the other side was what I now believe to be a game trail, no doubt created by deer on their quest for the river. This was a path to our adventure and led to a lot of cool spots that we'd come to enjoy. We climbed we climbed the hill and passed our favorite locations, like that little overhang of a rock that could shelter us from the rain and provide a convenient place to light a fire. We loved building small fires. We were very careful, though. I give us credit for that. Good old Smokey the Bear did his job with us. A little later in our explorations, we found an even larger overhang that would provide shelter from even a storm. This, we thought to ourselves, was where the Native Americans would take shelter. Despite the truth of that statement, we never found any indicators of modern occupation. Do not forget, we were 11 and 12. Now, the forest was beautiful that time of year. Birds were chirping, and the sunlight streamed through the openings of the forest canopy. I can remember the smell of some wild bush on the land, some aromatic thing floating through the air. I felt good that day, and I was in with my good friend. At some point, we deviated from the trail and began to move north along the side of the hill. Keep in mind, we could hear the highway below us, so we were able to get through. We went perhaps a few hundred yards and then began to descend. We made our own path through the woods, but soon we found our path blocked. We see something hunched over, moving up and down rhythmically. There was no sound except for the creature rustling the underbrush. It looked to be the size of an ape or perhaps a small bear. It was now upright on its hind legs. We didn't know what to think. My first reaction was to throw my Jolly Rancher at the creature and take off running down the hill in the direction of the highway. I think Mike did the same, but at that instant, it was all about me. Suddenly, we came to a screaming halt. Briars. There was a whole wall of them and no clear path around. In fact, we were among them before we even knew what happened. We looked around and listened, but there was no sign of the creature. It must have taken a half an hour to find our way through the briars or around them to get back to the highway. When looking back at it, it was an adventure, but one that scared the friggin' crap out of me. We returned home and made no mention to our parents about it. After all, they didn't need to know just how far we had gone that day. Dane, that's crazy. I have never encountered like mimics or doppelgangers. I think that'd be interesting. Can you imagine hucking your Jolly Rancher though? You're like, I hope it was a blue one. Maybe it was a cherry one and he picked it up, the monster picked it up and put it in his mouth. He's just like No, but back to the statement. I've been interviewing different people now for 7 years. Prior to me starting my channel, I was reading everything I could book wise, We have a lot of Bigfoot researchers from the Adirondacks, the Bartholomews and such, who covered the Whitehall incident. But the more I've interviewed people, the more I've learned that people have had addictions and mental health issues. And even in the cases of these attacks, when I look into those, it seems like with Tony Aaron's and Amber Miller, in Tennessee, Cott County, Tennessee, the news made it known, like, these two people, even though they were attacked and killed by some crazy animal, that's what the news labeled it as, but they made mention of the reason why they were attacked was because of their addiction, which is stupid. Oh, was it, Sonia? I'm so sorry that my channel is boring without Andy. Caden, what's up, my friend? Brain injuries? I know, I was just busting your chops, Sonia. They do say entities like brain injuries, like Dogman or enormous, like Dogman or like paranormal. Hey, A Jackson, how are you? What's the name of the video you made about the ambulance and Dogman in Connecticut? Mr. Rollins, paramedic. Just look for paramedic, Mr. Rollins. There's one that I interviewed the gentleman, and one where I just narrated it too for paranormal in general. Yeah. Traumatic brain injury, seeing things long before. You know what's crazy is, here's something to think about too, is so the people that are labeled schizophrenic and such, what if they're not schizophrenic? Like, yes, I agree that there are people who are genuinely schizophrenic, but what if we like are labeling the people that have an attachment or are seeing like some sort of spirit as crazy, mentally crazy, but they're not. They're just dealing with a shadow person or multiple entities throughout their house. And yet here we are feeding them fucking drugs and putting them away, where perhaps these entities may follow them and torment them even more. Yeah. So like let's say playing with Ouija boards, get put in the mental ward. So what if like, these poor people who genuinely can see something, like, I don't know. I'm just going to use for instance, that guy in Carmel, Maine, who has that spirit, or who is that shadow person in their house. So what if he sees this constantly it's tormenting him, and it's attached to him physically. He gets put in a mental ward, and it fucks with him this whole time, but he'll never be able to get out. It would be a real life horror movie. That really would. James, hey, I'm in Maine. I know the island that my family's houses are at. That's haunted. I know where Joe lives is a haunted location. There's a lot of haunted locations in Maine. Debbie, it might have been something communicating with you 100%. Yeah, I know that, like, I have interviewed probably, I'm just not, I can't like keep saying it, but like, because I don't want to break anonymity and stuff, but I would say 3/4 of the people that I've interviewed have admitted to having some sort of addiction issue. I myself had an addiction issue. Actually, April 4th was the last day I ever used drugs. My first clean urine at my rehab center was the 24th. So I'll have 8 years clean on the 24th of April, but I was put on the Suboxone program 8 years ago on the 4th. And I think a lot of things that happened during that time were due to my addiction. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, I agree. Tim's Pro Auto. How are you? Enormous. I agree. The same way with hallucinogenics. I do a lot better off. Each to their own, Destiny. If you do better on methadone than Suboxone, then do what works for you. I myself feel like Suboxone is a miracle for me because I was, yeah, I'll probably take Suboxone for the rest of my life, Bobby Schultz. I was addicted to pain medication and heroin for, well, I stopped using drugs when I was 40 and I started when I was 17. So 23 years of heroin and pain medication. So the Eclipse is going through Maine. Yeah, the Eclipse is going straight through Maine, New Hampshire, New York, right where I live. So yeah, I mean, I will be on Suboxone forever. Oh, okay, Destiny. Yeah, it's a miracle, I think, to me, for me. Thank you, Shelly Carlisle. Thank you very much. They don't taste great, Puma Pete, but I would much rather taste that twice a day than ever touch heroin again. I used to take gabapentin, but now I take fucking Neurontin, whatever it is, Lyrica. Yep, Andy Davis, and that movie made me Andy Davis, the Emily Rose, that made me think of the schizophrenic thing all over again. Yes. No, I knew what you were talking about, Puma Pete. I did, and it does. It tastes like ass. Lyrica, I think it's pregabalin, or gabapentin is pregabalin. I'm not sure. I know I take Lyrica. Congratulations, Enormous. Congratulations for you. Half a gallon of vodka. Wow. I drank a lot when I was drinking, or when I was drugging too, but never a half a gallon. Corey D, what's going on? Ever do Reiki? My aunt was a Reiki whatever. She had the Reiki table and Kimberly Flores, congratulations. Destiny, I pray for you, and I pray that you eventually beat it for good. I know that I didn't think I was ever going to be sober, but yeah, I've taken mushrooms. I was addicted to heroin. Did you ever take mushrooms? Of course I hate mushrooms. I never shot up heroin though. I'm afraid of needles. I'm afraid of needles, so I've never shot up. I always snorted my that's I know what you meant. Psilocybin. Yes, I've done mescaline and stuff. Yes. That's why I truly believe that I truly believe that hallucinogenics are an opening. And I did my share of hallucinogenics. I'll never do them again, because I know if I ever do drugs again, I will go right back to doing heroin. James, stay strong, my friend. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not willing to risk it, Zara. To be honest with you, I'm not willing to risk it. I believe in big pharma. I believe in Western medicine 100%. If you ever want to hear a really good and interesting interview, Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk, did an interview with Lex Fridman, and he was talking about how he did psilocybin and DMT and such multiple different times. But the best time he ever did it was in a Western medicine kind of environment, when he did DMT in a Western kind of medicine environment. And he felt safer there, but he experienced more. It was an interesting interview. If you guys get a chance to listen to it, check it out. I don't disagree or doubt any Eastern or old world medications or medicine, but for myself, I know the only way that I am alive right now is because of the medicine I take for my terminal illness, and I'm sober now because of Suboxone. That's my philosophy and my thing. I know that there is no medicine out there that I would be alive unless I took my medicine for my rare blood disorder. Otherwise, I'd be dead. That was an amazing interview, Zara. Yeah, it was great. I love Lex. To be honest with you, thank you, Vertebreaker. Thank you very much. To be honest with you, I think Lex Fridman is an amazing interviewer. I haven't taken anything for my neuropathy. I'm in pain. Chiropractor May. Yeah, but if you're in pain, Kakalina, you shouldn't be in pain every day, to be honest with you. Aw, GG. Wearing pink toenail. Did you give him a hug, Caden? Or did you throw a Jolly Rancher at him? Yeah, Zara. You know what? Okay, so with Lex Fridman, so Joe Rogan interviewed RFK Jr. Now, I wasn't a fan of that interview, and I didn't really care for that interview. Theo Vaughn interviewed RFK Jr., and both interviews sucked. I thought, and I really thought because of RFK Jr. But then Lex Fridman interviewed RFK Jr., and it changed my whole mind. I was like, wait a second. It wasn't RFK Jr., it was who was interviewing him. And I think Lex is an amazing interviewer. Just amazing. An amazing freaking wow. Just a brilliant guy, a brilliant kid. He's a kid, essentially. He's younger than I am. So Puma Pete, yeah, it is abused a lot. But I think that for people who are not abusing it, it's good. Has there been cases of dogmen talking or communicating? Yes. Ravenous Raven. Yes. There was one in Tennessee that I did. I would look at the interviews in old videos with Victor if you want to, honestly. Yes, Janie, me too. This happened in June, I believe, at 9 p.m. I was out back on the patio. At that time, no one had fences around their property because all of us knew all the families around. The only exception was the family across the street from us. They had a 7-foot tall cinder block wall behind their house. They had a huge wooded piece of property and kept equipment out there. The dad was in construction, and the wall enclosed 3 sides of the property. It was hot out and a slight breeze, no clouds, starry night. As I sat there, I could hear the dogs in the neighborhood begin to bark. Then everything got quiet. A lone howl started, so I howled back. I do this rather well. I watch National Geographic and would mimic wolf cries. Anyway, this went on for about 5 minutes, and each time the howl from the other end got closer. Down the road are train tracks that run north to south. The sound seemed to be coming from that direction. I started to get spooked as the howling stopped. Our yard had brush and trees on one side where the sound was coming from. The hair on my arms and neck were starting to stand up, and I felt like I should go in. As I stood, I heard movement from the brush. I glanced over and saw something move. I did not wait to see what it was, so I booked into the house and stood by the door. I watched as something very large and dark moved into the brush. It moved away, and I could no longer see it from my vantage point. I went to the front porch to look out the windows there, hoping I could see whatever it was. It never came out, so I went to bed and read for a little bit to calm down. About less than an hour later, my brother came home. He came into my room and was as white as a sheet of paper. He was shaking all over. His eyes were the size of saucers. I said, "Hey, are you okay?" Now, my brother is the that has an explanation for everything unusual. He's also a big guy. So for him to be in this state was not normal. He said, I need you to come with me right now. I'll explain when we get into my truck. I was still dressed, so I got up and went with him. When we got outside, I asked, what's going on? He told me there was something in the road by the tracks he needed to show me first. I was not happy about that, as I just had my own experience. As we got there, it looked as if something had exploded all over the road. There was blood everywhere, as if something was mowed down in that spot. But there were no body parts anywhere. My brother related then what he had seen coming down the road. I was coming home, and as I got closer to the tracks, there was this huge thing lying in the road. I thought, must be a mastiff or a Great Dane in the road. But as I pulled up to this thing, it didn't look like any dog I had ever seen. It was hairy. Its head and nose were twice the size of a dog. The body wasn't a dog, just dog-like, but much bigger. It was all over the place. There was an arm on the road, not a dog, a human arm. There was no trace of anything when we got there, and it was only minutes that took us to get there. I said, get the hell out of here now, and went back home. I told him what I experienced just before he got home. A couple of days later, my sister came to me and said she had been seeing this large dog prowling around at night. It was huge, and she had seen it across the street as she sat on our porch. I told her what our brother and I had seen, and not to be outside alone until we can find out what it was. We got together and decided to stake out our yard over the next night. Sure enough, it was back in the neighbor's yard. This thing was about the size of a Shetland pony, black in color. We had flashlights turned on, and it took off to the wall behind the house. Their dog was going off like crazy. They had a small terrier. We watched this thing scale the wall. The neighbor came out to see what was going on, and we shouted, there's something in the back of your yard. He went back in and grabbed his pistol and went out back, but by the time he got out there, it was gone. Brian, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Speaking of Lex Fridman, I actually just got 3 awesome books. 4 by Annie Jacobson. One was called Nuclear War. The other was called Phenomena, Area 51, and Project Blue Book. Who would win, female Dogman or lot lizard? Lot lizard. What is a glowy? Lex is a glowy, me thinks. Lex Fridman's amazing. Tony Bits, what's up? How are ya? What the hell is a glowy? Is that some English term? Is Alphabet Agency? No, Lex Fridman is not a glowy then. Glowy. What is a glowy? Yeah, Lex Fridman is not a glowy. Definitely not an operative. The most dangerous Dogman encounter? Probably the Delaware encounter with the camper. What are lizard people? Aliens, probably. More than likely, Weston, Salone. I don't know, but more than likely, alien. No, RH. He's not a commie. God, man. They come from lot lizards. Lex may be a lot lizard. I would think Lex could be a lot lizard, but definitely not a glowy. All right, guys. 2 hours and 41 minutes. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I had a blast. One more day. We got one more day until the eclipse, where I will be at Tom Mezek's disappearance. I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait to see what happens. Jessica, you're good. You are good. Yes, I did. Gravity Cheeseburger. Great fucking interview. Thank you, Diana Hill. Thank you very much. Oh. Please stay strong, Diana. Please stay strong. Guys, thank you once again. I had a great night with all of you. Even though we disagree on things, but we agree on things. That's what the greatest part. I really honestly like people are like, Lex is a glowy, but I'm like, no, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. We disagree and get along. I like that. I like that we can have different ideas and still get along and still have fun, and that's what the best part of this community is that we all have different views and different ideas, but we are all willing to hear each other's ideas and willing to hear each other's views and accept them. We don't have to like them, but remember, like, I'm going to remember that Lex might be some kind of operative. And then in a year later, I might be like, wait, that might be true. Or, whatever. It fits all together, guys. So thank you again for a great night. And I honestly wouldn't want to spend my Saturday nights with anybody else but you guys. So thank you. And stay safe. Have a great day tomorrow. Stay safe on the eclipse. If you see anything strange, go in your house. But I don't think anything bad's going to happen. Maybe a meth head may eat somebody. But if that's the only thing that happens, we're good. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night.